Everybody, Happy New Year! Happy New Year! How was the New Year? It's like goats going together, vibrating. Come! And another ghost goes, very interesting. And then they meet the pigs, why this sound? So that's how it sounds to a devotee. Therefore Krishna actually concludes very nicely. There is a big difference. He goes, what is night for all beings is the time of awakening for the self-controlled. And the time of awakening for all beings is night for the introspective sage. Prabhupada Prabhupada is very nice. There are two classes of intelligent men. One is intelligent in material activities for sense gratification, and the other is introspective and awake to the cultivation of self-realization. Activities of the introspective sage or thoughtful man are night for persons materially absorbed. Materialistic persons remain asleep in such a night due to their ignorance of self-realization. And the introspective sage remains alert in the so-called night of materialistic man. The sage feels transcendental pleasure in the gradual advancement of spiritual culture, whereas the man in materialistic activities, being asleep to self-realization, dreams of varieties of sense pleasure, feeling sometimes happy and sometimes distress in his sleeping condition. The introspective man is always indifferent to materialistic happiness and distress. He goes on with his self-realization activities undisturbed by material reactions. Therefore, whenever a materialistic section of society gets inspired, those who are interested in spiritual life, they become annoyed. What? Yeah, but it's happening! It's happening! Yeah, what is happening? Chewing the chewed, Prahlad Maharaj says, that's what's happening. Somebody was chewing on something and he spat it out. The other one comes, goes, very interesting. And he chews a little bit more. As we know, in such a substances there is no taste, because everybody already chewed on it. And that's actually what we are looking for, a taste. Something new. Tonight it's going to happen. The taste. The rockets come up. Yeah! Well, it was another thing, isn't it? And imperceptibly, people don't understand how many New Year celebrations you want to have. When you are good at it, 70, 80, whereby from this 80, the first two you didn't get it because you were a small child, you were completely gone. And maybe the last 5 you will not get either because you are so senile and so stupid you don't even understand it's a new year. So, let's say 50, 60 of this, doesn't sound like much, isn't it? It's how many birthdays you want to have. It's just happy birthday, happy new year, and oh, why is he not celebrating with us to this year? Oh, he died. He's finished. He's gone. Hello. He's for sure not celebrating now anything. We don't even know where he is. So people are so in illusions. They think this can go forever. No. It's just another rocket coming up, and as it comes up, it's already burning, and then it's just some ashes. Couldn't be nothing more illustrating the temporality of this material world. Cannot imagine how many billions and billions of dollars are blown out on this planet tonight. Just like that. Even my old father called me up and he was shaking in fury. He said, "What a nonsense! If they would at least spend the money for something else, I would rather buy myself new shoes. Not just and that's it. 5,000 krone gone. That's it. That's how you spend your money. Why don't you just burn the money in itself directly? Yeah, you can take 5,000 krone going, Happy New Year! You can burn the money like this. Maybe it doesn't make so much sound, but it's also some kind of firework. How much more nonsensical is just plain material talk, okay? It's nothing to do with spiritual life, really. How much more foolish people can be, looking how their own money is going up in smoke. So Krishna consciousness is actually about logic, it's about common sense. And common sense is, that's where it starts to happen, that the night turns into day and day turns into night. So for the emotional, intellectual and spiritual life of a devotee can never be compatible with the life of a materialist. You know, yeah. Therefore, usually when people become devotees, the public is shocked. What happened? You don't like the girls anymore. You don't like your motorbike anymore. You don't watch football anymore. You love these kind of things. What happened? Oh, that's where Prabhupada became really angry. In the 70s, 80s of the previous century, it was widely spread when you become Hare Krishna, you become brainwashed. Your real happy personality will vanish. And you just become a tool in the hands of the Guru. You just go Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. That's it. And the Guru says, kill! You will kill even your own mother. That's what, I mean, I joined in Germany. That was in a newspaper every day. People used to ask us this question, will you also kill your mother? Why should I do that? What kind of stupid question is this? Where you got the idea? Well, in a newspaper, you know. So it's the same thing in the newspaper. In Denmark, devotees are so spoiled because they never had that kind of newspaper. You know, very little, you know, something. Just wait, it can change. It's just a question of decision and setting the priorities right. And suddenly the Hare Krishna will be very dangerous in Denmark. They don't eat pigs. Very dangerous. You know, they are following authority, even more dangerous. Pigs we can forgive, that's okay. We are, you know, also vegetarian, you know. I'm vegan. But no, they follow an authority. What a crime was committed. And this is what Prabhupada, it's just interesting sequence when you follow his recording of his preaching. One day in England, he meets a mother of a devotee. And the mother is obviously upset her son became devotee. And then Prabhupada had a beautiful way to deal with that. Devotees couldn't do that because they were all young men, you know. They were of the same category. So she was saying, what are these people? They're also brainwashed. But with Prabhupada, to tell him that he's brainwashed, I don't think anybody ever did that. Because Prabhupada just look at you and you forgot to say something about brainwash. That didn't come up, the idea. So Prabhupada is kind of kindly explaining her, but your son is happy. And then she goes, but he was also happy before he joined this movement. She's very agitated. But some devotees, those are obviously devotees sitting in the same room. One devotee loses the control and intervenes to that. Because devotees knew that devotee, you know, when he was joining, they were preaching to him. So he said, but before he joined, he was taking only drugs, he was a miserable drug addict. And then it's quiet, because it is true. The mother. And then she goes, but he was studying medicine, he should become a doctor. Prabhupada, very kind, says, but there are already so many doctors. He said, we are here studying also. We are studying that what nobody studies, and that's needed. Doctors we already have, you know, but this we don't have. And he said it so nicely, the mother is like, but she is not satisfied with this. But the meeting ends up in some kind of polite way, and she walks out. Next day Prabhupada gives a lecture. And it's one of the few moments you see Prabhupada being really angry. His voice is trembling almost. And Prabhupada mentions sometimes I get accused. Swamiji, what have you done? My son is not taking any drugs anymore. My son has no sex life anymore. He's not eating any meat. He's not gambling anymore. Swamiji, what a harm you have done. is angry. And then he concludes. And when the sun goes out and becomes again drug addict, what can be done? Such is life. You know? So much tolerance suddenly towards all these completely self-destructive activities. But when it comes to Krishna consciousness, alert, danger, careful, something very heavy is happening here. You know, I joined in Germany in the times where the mothers were on the airports when we came from India and we exited the airplane, you know, devotees ecstatic coming from India. The mothers on the Frankfurt airport in Germany, they used to cover the eyes of the children when they don't see devotees because they simply put a spell on them. You know, that was the atmosphere I grew up with. You don't know this, you are living in this happy Denmark. But, you know, things can change. You know, things can change. There you can see a real demon. A demon, he will not get upset when his son is drug addict. Oh, it's not nice, but can be done. Yeah, well, you know, but when he starts to chant Hare Krishna, alarm, danger, immediately call a psychiatrist, immediately. Something very heavy happened. Therefore we have such a valuable help from the Indian community, because to call all Indians being brainwashed is a little bit absurd. So when the Indians come and say, what do you mean brainwashed? My grandfather was brainwashed too, or what? We are here, a few billion of people brainwashed, what are you talking about? And then, how do you argue with that? You know? So fortunately nowadays we are more established, like on this platform, so nobody comes up too much with this kind of ideas. Nowadays we are more fighting the equality dogma. I'm fine. You're also fine. Hare Krishna also fine. You know, and the International Society for Bank Robbers is also fine, you know, it's all fine, you know, fine. Devotees told me in America when they travel in a subway, you know, American people sometimes are very flamboyant, they are very outgoing, so they go, oh, it's really fine, hell, how do big time, big time. It's Americans, you know. So they sit in the subway and devotee sits there and they go, hey man, oh, you look good, great, how is it? And devotees feel inspired, oh, somebody is interested, I can preach to him. And they go, yes, you know, this is Krishna consciousness and I'm happy and this and that. And they go, great, fine, you know, great. And then the conversation is suddenly terminating and he turns to the next gentleman sitting next to him, is obviously some very deranged individual. And he goes, how are you? I like to kill people. Fine, great, you know, it's great, fine, it's all fine, you know. This is the kind of spirit which we struggle most with nowadays. It's not the anti-Krishna consciousness, it's no consciousness. You know, it's just, there's nothing to address. You go, you know, Krishna, yeah, fine, Krishna, fine. Yeah, but this is wrong. No, it's also fine. Everything is fine. Very difficult to preach like this. But nevertheless, we maintain our point. It's not fine. What is night for a materialist, that's a day for a spiritualist. You can see it physically. They can be very busy people. Oh, money, with the money, and job and working and career. As soon chanting comes, they immediately fall asleep. Why chanting? What's the use of this? Can you make some money with that? No. Can you have sex life with it? No. I mean, what? I don't even understand what they are saying. What? Then all this Bhagavad Gita, where they are just a name, Bhagavad Gita. What is this? You know, sometimes they open the book, you know, the students, and they go, this sounds good. It's Chinese or what is this? You know, believe it or not, we will come to it, but these books are mostly distributed on an entirely emotional platform. Even one of my godbrothers, we had a new edition of Nectar of Devotion, which came up with a brown dust jacket, and inside it was something like this color. So he told me, this book is so nice. outside like chocolate, inside like marzipan. And people are going, okay, how much? Completely absurd. What has this to do with chocolate and marzipan? But that's how people work. Whole advertisement is like this. When you study advertisement, it's completely insane. Everything on advertisement is completely insane. They tell you, Prabhupada was upset about the American statement that smoking is cool. Because nowadays they don't say it, but those days they still said that. Smoking is cool. Prabhupada said, cool? It's hot. The cigarette is burning, it's hot, it's not cool. It's full of these hypocrisies. They think that when you buy a new jacket, you have a better sex life. What is this to do with that? All advertisement is done like this, just to create an image, you know. So sometimes when we sell these books, we also have to create an image. But when a devotee is really inspired, it becomes a spiritual image. Because we can say any damn thing we want when we sell the book. Not necessarily. You don't sell Bhagavad Gita as a cookbook. It's not needed. That's a lie. That people don't have to do that. But you tell them, this is good. Tastes good. And they go, okay. There's such a level of distribution. My best days on Sankirtan when I distribute books were so minimalistic in expressions. It's just a question of consciousness. Because there are days when one understands with the Krishna consciousness more, there are days when one is more covered. Krishna himself said one should not pay any attention to it. There are days we feel more happy and there are days we feel not so happy. That happens to a devotee too. But those days where Krishna suddenly a little bit opens the window unpredictably and he just lets the mercy pour down, we become the recipients. These are beautiful days. Where it can happen, you go on the street and maybe people go. That was what was said before they bought the book. You come in the evening back and you sold maybe 100 of these books and you think, how did that happen? He didn't say anything. I don't want to get too much. We will come to the Sankirtan later on. But I have an old lady in Czech Republic, I was not here. She couldn't even see properly. But there was nobody else on the street, so the books were heavy. And I couldn't carry much more, so I just stopped. Normally I don't do that. She was there at the door, and I was like, hello, a book. Do you like to read books? And she said, not much, I cannot see properly. And then she looked at me, and that's the moment where actually life becomes really fun. There was no more old lady. That body was irrelevant. In the eyes I found a look of a 8-year-old girl. Something happened there. Because the eyes are the windows of the soul. And she said, Srimad Bhagavatam, with all the, I think it was Nishingadev tears Hiranyakashipu, something very bloody, very bloody. So, and she held the book and she said, I cannot read much, but I guess it must be a nice book. And I said, really? Do you think it's a nice book? And she said, it must be a nice book because you are so nice. I was saying, whoa, thank you. Okay. And do you read books? No, I cannot read. It was such a silent, intimate moment, She said, but I have to take the book because I think you do only good for people. And then she just took the book. I don't think she will manage to read one page of it, maybe half of it. And I don't think she will understand anything. But ultimately, in essence, that's how Krishna consciousness is disseminated, It's disseminated on a platform. We try to rationalize, but in a material sense, yes, of course we have so much logic. Of course we have so much argument. With this knowledge we can defeat anybody. With Bhagavad Gita, you are undefeatable. That's a fact. And you don't have to be a big philosopher. Just get a glimpse of the essence. You can defeat any fool in this world. You can show him very quickly whatever he says, complete nonsense. including Happy New Year. It's all nonsense, okay? Simple, Bhagavad Gita. That we can do. But essentially spoken, people are not even capable to enter such an encounter. We have so many answers, but there's no questions. So we are a little bit like a self-satisfying people. We put the questions and we put the answers, It's a little bit like tickle yourself and then you scratch yourself, you tickle, it's sort of like self-service, the whole thing. Because Krishna consciousness is way above the mundane ways of reasoning and the mundane ways of habituation, which is forcing us into this kind of routine procedures, like celebrating things just because others celebrate, and and talking in a repetitive way, and it's monotone. For somebody who is developing a little bit spiritual instincts, it's night, there's no date. But it's date, it's happening. No, it's no day. There's no day, it's night. Sorry, I don't hear anything. What? But look, there's happy. Happy, there's two kinds of happiness. Spiritual and material one. Material one is happiness on impulse. Okay, so you pinch somebody, he goes, out! And you say, oh, there's a reaction. You tickle somebody, you go, then he laughs. You tell a joke, you tickle him so subtly, and then it's finished. But spiritual happiness comes from the inside. And that's Ananda Buddhi Vardhanam. It cannot be defeated by any material circumstance. And it's growing. That's a symptom of advancement of spiritual life. Nothing can stop that. So this is actually how we can test ourselves if we are actually happy on a material or spiritual platform. So in that sense we can say, Happy New Year. Because we hope next year, whatever it is, whatever they say the next years, we hope that we can stay in Krishna consciousness. We hope that we can develop more affection for Krishna, more attachment and understanding of the mission of Srila Prabhupada, become more useful for Krishna. There is no happiness without becoming useful for Krishna. We cannot separate the happiness from being useful. So this is the happiness of a devotee, that he feels himself more and more united in the purpose of Krishna consciousness. Then he becomes more happy. So I don't want to prolong this too much. We will have something which, after the kirtan, we ask the pujaris to keep the curtain a little bit more open, so we can read for the pleasure of Shri Shri Gaunitai the results of all those who went out in Denmark and distributed some books, which in this audience we can say boldly is absolutely the essence of that, what we are doing. I have even some suspicion that this is probably a year which more books got distributed than last year, isn't it? So that's called Ananda Buddhi Vardhanam. That there is more attempt being made of these books being disseminated. Srila Prabhupada didn't make any secret that without minimizing anybody's service, this service is most valuable. Prabhupada said, he wrote it even to me in a letter, he said, it's all absolute devotional service. But even on an absolute platform, it's still better. That doesn't make the other thing worse. That's the beauty of absolute. That just because something is better, it doesn't mean something is worse. It's all like in Chaitanya Charitamrita, you can always read. And he is the best of the devotees. And then next page, and he is the best of the devotees. You say, wait a minute, he's the best here. He was the best, here, and then this one is best. So who is the best? The beauty of Krishna consciousness, that everybody can be best, without the other one being worse. But that can only happen when one is fully in tune with Krishna's desire, which manifests through the word of pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada. So this disseminating of transcendental literature was an absolute priority for Srila Prabhupada. So much that actually he started a second movement for that. It's called Bhaktivedanta Book Trust. And and he said, whatever happens in ISKCON, we wish the best. We never want that ISKCON will be harmed or diminished in its purpose. But the Bhaktivedanta Book Trust is to survive by any means. You translate these books, Yeah, but Prabhupada, we don't speak the local language. Find somebody. But there's nobody to distribute them. Find somebody. In some way, distribute it. Print it and get it out. Prabhupada said, when the house is on fire, who cares what kind of language the fire brigade men are speaking? That's how urgent it is. Because from all this talking, from all this what we have problems here, from all what we are suffering with, it's going to be all vanishing, along with our bodies. But the books will stay. If the whole Denmark goes to hell, there's only one Bhagavad Gita left, nothing was lost. That's Prabhupada even said in relationship to the whole universe. Because that one Bhagavad Gita can lead to the fact that somebody picks it up again and thinks, oh, interesting. And he starts Krishna consciousness from that one book. So whoever is in touch with these books, and whoever is even trying to read these books, whoever is touching them, Prabhupada said even touching is beneficial. Even opening, not understanding, beneficial. Reading one word, beneficial. One sentence, understanding one sentence can save the life of a human being. This is the nature of these books. Just one sentence. We are not this body. Oh, never heard this before. Yeah. Oh, the spiritual world. Oh, So these books are universally effective. Even one word, only one word is there. I know from Russia, like example. In the initial times, these books were actually, they were too little, they were too few. People used to copy by hand, write it and distribute it. Just one page, one shloka, that was distributing like this. And from that, people became devotees. Just from one page, from one shloka. But to speak when you have a whole book of them. So this is how valuable it is. That's the only thing what will remain. There is nothing, there will be nothing. Even this building will most probably vanish. I don't see, it's vanishing already now, We are constantly trying to prevent its vanishing. I don't want to give you the construction problems and all these things. I mean, here we have the Acharya of the construction. He was going through the whole thing when he came first time in here. This was a garage. I don't even know what you had to go through to make out of that garage this. Thank you very much. With people who are completely unpredictable, completely unreliable, and work whenever they want. When they don't work, they don't work. Because we are a volunteer movement. To work under such circumstances, it's so difficult. But here we are sitting in a temple. Before this was some kind of mafia garage. I don't know what. So therefore, now it's going to be a kirtan. After that, we may read the Sankirtan results, which I would specifically, maybe you can bear with me for 1 minute. I would specifically stress that Lalitanath Prabhu reads these results because he is one of the amazing devotees who actually went the whole marathon out in his age and his things. That's not very standard. So I think he should really read this out. Besides that, I have a really present here for everybody for tonight who wants to dedicate to sadhana, bhakti and practicing Krishna consciousness, who is serious. So I'll put it there in a short area. It's for all those who want to go early in the morning, get up and chant their rounds. There's a special present here. It's earplugs.
Hari-bo.
Hari-bo! So please serve yourself. That's how we celebrate a new year. Happy New Year. Okay? Srila Prabhupada ki Jai!